lost in the Lone Star Land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright.
Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy slough. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops always crack the whip.
Sebastian, sweet boy, where have you gone? The sun sets low, but we keep marching on. The wind whispers your name soft through the pines, a melody aching in these hearts of mine. Roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, oh, you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang like bells through the air. Now silence just lingers, it's more than we can bear. We carry your memory, a flag in our hands, through shadows and valleys, through shifting sands. The roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains, you deserve better. Oh, you deserve better, and your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang through heartache and pain.
Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with me. I really, really, really appreciate y'all. Hello, Miss Rhonda. Hey, TJ. Oh, my beautiful friend, Miss Jen. So glad you're with us, but you take care of yourself. Praying for you. Do what the doctors tell you to do, girl. Get yourself better, okay? Hey, TJ, Miss Kathy, Daisy, Jacqueline, hello there. Hi, Pebbles. Mama, how you doing? Wild Child, hello there. Lisa King, how are you? Tap dancer Lizzie, always good to have you. Hey, Kai, how you doing? Got a secret? How are you? Thank you for being here. Oh, goodness. We got us a good group of people in here. Hello, Miss Peggy. How are you? Let's see. Kelly East. How are you, Miss Kelly? So glad to have you here with us. Let's see here. Scrolling through here. Tranquility for soul for you. Oh my goodness, I love saying it. Tranquility. We all need a little tranquility in our life, guys. Hello, Teresa. How are you? Deanna, good to have you. Miss Keeley. Hello, hello. So glad to have you with us. We love you, sweetheart. You take care of yourself. She said, I hope they find Sebastian Rogers. That is our number one goal, Keely. We're trying hard, sister. We're trying. Hello, Miss Cheryl. How you doing? Kiki. Hi, my friend. Hope you got everything figured out. I know I didn't help you much today, but I hope I helped a little bit. Hello, Diana. How are you? Little Miss Sharon. Hello. So glad to have everybody. Hope everybody's had a super great day today. And y'all are ready to do some talking. First of all, before we ever get started on Sebastian's case, I want y'all to see and look at this picture here because we're going to dig into this missing child, Winterby Wagner, 13 years old, from Kentucky. She is missing. We are working. I'm trying to look into it, get some information because we want to be able to help in any way we can. And she's 13 years old, missing from Orlando area of Rockcastle County, Kentucky. She was last seen on October 14th, 2025, around 6:15 p.m. She's described as 5'1", 147 pounds, long brown hair, blue eyes. She has piercings in both ears and her right nostril. Anyone with information about the whereabouts is asked to contact the Rockcastle County Sheriff's Office at 606 256 2121 or Their local law enforcement agency, Deputy Dustin Saylor, is leading the investigation. We're going to look into her case a little more tomorrow. She could use some help. Her family is needing help in finding her. So join me tomorrow as we talk a little more about her, and hopefully we'll be able to get a little more information and be able to do whatever we can to help get the word out about her. Yeah, TJ has talked to her aunt and she's not getting hardly any media attention. Now, guys, there was a 13-year-old girl from Louisiana that was just found in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, locked in a basement. And it has been confirmed that she was as offended, you know? She was, things were done to her. Bless her heart. There's sick people in this world, guys. You never, ever know when something's so bad. Yeah, if y'all would, look her up, and it's Winter Wagner, 13 years old, out of Kentucky, and it's WYNTER, Winter. Definitely post it on your Facebook page, Instagram, X, whichever. Let's help get that information out. Kiki, I'd love to do that. Let's work together on it. Okay? Definitely we'll do that. Because these cases, look at little Summer. Summer's case was hugely covered. And little Michael Monkey Vine was touched on here and there. Everybody dug deep into Summer's case. And Michael's case got minimal attention. He went missing 1 month after Summer. The same year, just 1 month later. Hey, Gail, how you doing? And so, some kids get all the attention and others briefly get mentioned. Let's see what we can do to help this family out, guys, okay? We're not going to leave Sebastian's case hanging by any means. But I do want to take one day out of the week and talk about another case because they deserve it just as much. Let's see what we can do to help this young girl in her case. And so tomorrow will be our day. Okay? So, anyways, with that being said, let's get busy, guys. Today we're going to be profiling mom and stepdad. Yay, TJ. Good deal. We would love to have them come on with us if they would like to. We invite her family, anyone who would like to come on and talk about her, because it's always good to get to know the kind of person she was and all the things about her. We would love to hear that. It really helps to bring them, into reality for us. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Thank you for what you're doing, TJ. Let's see. Diana says, if it was you all doing these cases online, all these cases would have gone cold. Right, right. And that's our goal. and we need to be able to branch out because we are 100% devoted to Sebastian, and that's okay. But let's use one day to really make a difference in another kid's life as well. So anyways, hello, Holly. Hope you're doing good. So today, in the description of this video is the link, and it is Profiling with Pat Brown. We're going to see how she looks at their interviews and what she has to say. If you have not ever followed Pat Brown on any of her cases that she's covered and profiled, you definitely might want to. Hey, Niecy, how you doing? But she is amazing with what she does. Hey, Cooper. Hope you've had a good day. Thanks for being here. Hey, Lori. Pat, how are you? Pat Brown is awesome. She really, really is. And Daisy's just dropped her link. So make sure y'all sub up to her. And we're going to listen to, she has 2 videos that she has done on the step parents, or on the mother and stepfather. And we're going to definitely look into those. Let me put up our copyright banner. We got that going. Let's get us a tiny little music playing in the background, because we want to do all the right things. All righty. So today we're going to start with the very first interview that was done for them. Let me see here real quick which one it is. I think it's, hang tight, let me double check. What is this one? Okay, we're gonna start. I just want to make sure we got the right one to start with. Here we go, guys. Is that music too loud? Yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. TJ says, Kiki, go feed that football team of yours. Oh, good deal, Brenda Sue. Good deal. You will enjoy her. No music, you hear? Okay. Maybe it's down low enough nobody will be distracted. It's good. Okay, here we go.
Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and this is the 3rd video I've done on the Proudfoots and their interviews that they're doing concerning their missing son and stepson, Sebastian Rogers. Now, I saw red flags in the first video, an interview that I saw. I saw more red flags in the second interview. And the question is,
okay, not sure why it's black screen, but that's what we got for a minute. Let's see if it gets better. Let's see here. Yeah, it'll get better here in just a second. Here we go.
Why am I seeing these red flags? And apparently a lot of other people are seeing these kinds of things too. There's a lot of channels that have come out who have have professionals who are doing analysis, like Peter Hyatt has done 2 analyses of the interviews, including this one that was just done, a 3-hour interview, mind you. And it says right here, live at the request of Chris Proudfoot. He wanted this interview. It's a small channel, about 6,000 subscribers. He's not picking, Nancy Grace or some big channel. He's picking the smaller one and doing a 3-hour interview with his wife. So there are professionals like myself and Peter Hyatt who have analyzed what is being said and finding concerning things.
Okay, her lips and her voice are not matching, but it will get into sync here in just a minute. Patient.
Your child goes missing. You should be careful what media outlet you go in front of. And
Okay, hold on, guys. We're going to stop this one because we got the wrong one. We want to start with the one with Olivia first. My bad. Okay, I'm apologizing. Shared the wrong one. I was afraid I would do that. Here we go. Let's start with this one. All righty. This will be the interview with Olivia. TJ, girl, you know I do. Lord help it, it's been a crazy day.
Hello, everyone. This is criminal profiler Pat Brown, and I have been asked to analyze the next interview done by the mom and stepfather of Sebastian Rogers, the missing child, who's now been missing 3.
Now, remember, we just watched this interview a little bit. We just heard her slipping up, getting mixed up, all the things. Let's see what Miss Pat Brown has to say compared to what we thought about it.
3 weeks from Tennessee. And a lot of times I don't like to keep doing analyses of interview after interview after interview. I try to only do it when I see something really worthwhile doing. And this particular interview, I did watch quite a number of times. And yes, there are things that bother me again in this interview with the mom and stepfather. If you haven't seen my first interview, I'll link that below. It's called Red Flags. And this interview, I find more red flags in things that they say that are concerning. Now, let me say this. My analysis of what they're saying, it's a statement analysis. It doesn't mean I'm right. All right? Let's just be honest about that. I can be wrong. I'd rather be wrong and Sebastian Rogers is alive and out there. They find him. These people have nothing to do with him going missing. Great. That's a good thing. I'll take the hit. But I've watched a lot of parents of missing children speak, and there are red flags that come up with this couple. Now, could the parents be weird? Have strange ways of dealing with things? Yes, they could. And that, again, could mean they're not guilty of anything, but they just don't do well doing interviews. And they have a strange way of saying things that make things concerning, shall we say.
Definitely concerning in some of the things they have to say. I wonder if Miss Pat Brown ever thought about profiling Mr. Chris and his rant about Brittany J. That would be fun to listen to. That would be very interesting to hear. But right now, we're going to get over here on this one and listen in and see what she has to say. Hi, Miss Kathy P. How are you doing? Big hugs to you.
And I recommended these too. Maybe you need to stop doing these interviews because I don't believe they're helping in any particular way. Two of you ought to.
She's brutally honest, folks. Brutally honest. I love this lady. She knows what she's talking about for sure.
Be out there looking for Sebastian, papering the neighborhood with all the flyers you can, talking to local businesses to get that information up. If the reporters want to talk to you while you're standing there and you just want to say, this is what we want to tell you about Sebastian, fine. But this second interview looks more like damage control, especially from the stepdad. It looks like damage control and not actually something to help find Sebastian.
There we go. We were right on target, weren't we? Right on target. They're not doing anything, saying anything that's going to actually help find Sebastian. I mean, hey, Tim. How you doing? Hi, Christy. Welcome, y'all. Come on in. So good to have y'all. I think, Nisi, I think more than anything, he did it because his friends hate her. That's kind of what I think. I think he did it, went off on that tangent against Brittany J because, well, the people he hangs around with don't like her. And he actually thought it was fun to do. I would love to see that profile.
So what do I mean by I think it's damage control? All right. And what do I mean by more red flags? All right. Well, they did something which maybe they should have done in the earlier interviews, which is show pictures of Sebastian and talk about Sebastian a little bit more. They do this in this interview, and that part is good. All right. But what else do they do that bothers me? All right. The mom reiterates what happened that day. And some people say she doesn't look at the camera and she looks, she's just looking down all the time. She could be medicated, just to say. She could be exhausted. So I'm going to give her a break on that. So she goes through the day again, the day before he went missing and the morning that he supposedly went missing. And I have issues with many of the things she says. All right. As far as the moment she finds he's missing from the bedroom, supposedly at 6 o'clock in the morning, she's changed the story a wee bit on what she did when she found he wasn't in the room. Originally, it sounded like she panicked immediately. And now she's saying, he could be getting snacks. He could be hiding behind walls because he likes to pop out and say, boo. Okay, which one is it? You went into the room and you found he was gone and you freaked, or you just thought, where is he? I guess he's doing something else. And you wandered back through the house. Maybe he's making breakfast in the kitchen. Maybe he is getting snacks. Maybe he's in the bathroom. Maybe he could be doing a lot of things. And she says like in 1 minute, she's racing through the house trying to find him as if she is in a panic.
1 minute. Remember, guys, the very first time she told her story, it was like 1 minute. She searched everywhere. She later changes it to about 3 minutes time. Still insanely inconsistent. She never tells the same story twice. Why would that be, I wonder? KK, what you thinking back there? Are you preparing yourself for the next question? Yeah, 1 minute flat, then it becomes 3 minutes. Lord, help her.
But I don't understand why you'd be in a panic that quickly over a 15-year-old. I don't, because he could be doing all kinds of things in the house. I would see he's not in the bedroom, and I'd go and, see he's not in the kitchen. I'd say, Sebastian, I might call his name out. Sebastian, what you doing? Where are you? I might go over to the bathroom to see, knock, knock. Are you in the bathroom? Or you're not in the bathroom? Sebastian, where are you? I don't know how big their house is. So if there was a family room downstairs, I might say, Sebastian, yelling down the stairs. I don't see that she's doing the normal things before the panic. Now, after you look through the house, he doesn't show up after 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Then you start going, where the heck is he? At which point I would get a little bit nervous and I'd start looking everywhere. If he's got autism and has some weird habits like hiding and things like that, yes, I would look in closets and under beds and do that kind of thing, trying to find out where he is. She eventually says she opens up doors and yells out the doors and looks out the windows. I want to know, are you running around the house? Because I would be outside looking for him. Is he outside somewhere? I would be checking the vehicles. Now, I don't know if they have a garage or a vehicle in the garage or a vehicle outside. I'd go to see if he's in the vehicle for some reason. Maybe he was getting some papers out of the vehicle. Maybe he did some weird thing. He's hiding in a vehicle. I'd check behind bushes. I depending on how the yard is, I'd be looking all around the yard and in the vehicles and in the garage at any place that he could be. I'd be panicking about that point, but I wouldn't panic right away because he could be anywhere in the house doing something. It would take me quite a few minutes before I'd panic for a 15-year-old. Now, the child.
Now, we've talked about this before. We've all decided if he wasn't in his bed, we would not be quite panicked because he's a teenage boy. He could be anywhere at that point. But you would take time to look around and call out for him and things like that. But 1 minute, you're going to instantly panic and run through the house in 1 minute flat? Jump in your car? Start driving around? KK, did you know he was not there? Because that's kind of how you're acting. You knew you didn't need to look more than 1 minute because he wasn't there. Right, KK? Yeah, that's right, KK. You knew. You knew he wasn't there. You knew you were going to take just a tiny smidge of time before you jumped in your car. So maybe it would all make sense and we might believe it. But we don't. Just saying.
1 year old, it would be a different matter. But 15, I'd be looking around, just yelling his name. Where are you, Sebastian? And then after I couldn't find him and he didn't show up, I'd start getting worried. Now, after she couldn't find him in the house, couldn't find him outside the house, he's not around. I get that she would call her husband and say, I can't find him. I can't find Sebastian anywhere. Then something else weird happens. They call the police. Why aren't they calling Sebastian's dad? I mean,
bingo. Hello. Drop the mic. Number one question. Why did you not call his dad? Why did you not call to check and make sure his dad hadn't heard from him? Oh, wait. That's because they already knew Sebastian did not call his dad. They already knew Sebastian was not in that home. They already knew and had this plan of action that they were going to implement so that it looked like they were doing all the right steps, but they left out a few steps. They looked for 1 minute, instantly call, but they didn't call 911 like normal people would do because they couldn't think to scroll through their phone. You're in a panic. You're not going to scroll through your phone to find the sheriff's department's phone number there. You're going to call 911, aren't you? But not them. Not them. They taught Sebastian to call 911 for emergencies. But they knew this wasn't an emergency. You know, it's funny how your self-conscience can actually take over. And I honestly believe theirs did. And therefore, little tiny slip-ups, little mistakes happened because they were a little too confident in themselves and everything that happened.
His biological dad who lives nearby. Why aren't they calling him? Because Sebastian spends supposedly every other weekend with the dad. And is supposedly, I've heard this, maybe going to live with him in the future. It's his son. Wouldn't you be calling up dad and saying, hey, I can't find Sebastian. Did he call you? Did he come over to your house? I mean, do you think did you come by? I mean, she never calls or says she called the biological father, which to me is the first thing I would do when that kid went missing. I might call my husband, yeah, because he's my husband, but I would call the biological dad just like that. And he's also works for the sheriff's department. So, hey, so it's two birds with one stone. That wasn't.
Boom, again. This lady's putting it out there. This lady's putting it out there, y'all. We've been right on target with everything that we've talked about in this interview and what they have said. All the interviews put together, there's a few problems. Quite a few problems. I mean, Seth does work for the sheriff's department. Hello. But, no, we'll just send dad a 911 text. We're not going to call 911. We'll just tell him 911, because it's an emergency, right? But we are not going to call 911. Okay.
Done. So that whole morning is questionable to me. Now let's go back earlier in the day. She goes through the things that happened during the day. And the one thing we do not have that I can't find out, I've looked at the website, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation website, which the stepdad says we should go to because that gives us all the information. It does not. I do not know the exact last time that Sebastian was seen by someone or by video other than his parents, the mom and the stepdad. The exact time. Went on. That's when everybody needs an alibi. Now, stepdad says something weird. He says, we've all been vetted, which is fine. But then he says, we've been cleared. I see no evidence out there that the police have said that these two have been cleared.
20 months later, let's make it very crystal clear. They still have not been cleared. Not at all. Never have been. But he wants us to think he has. He wants us to think that, his buddy over there, Bobby and Carter, have just taken good care of him and got him all cleared. Funny thing is, they can't clear him. He doesn't have an alibi. His alibi has been shot to hell. As hard as he tried to put his alibi out there, as hard as KK stressed, my husband was in Memphis. Are you sure? because it has not been verified at all. There is no alibi for either one of them. You see, KK's alibi has disappeared. Disappeared. Her alibi is out the door, the front door. No shoes. Ran away. Neither one of them have an alibi at all.
Cleared is different than being vetted. Being vetted is what you do. The detectives are going to do this. They're going to check everybody that has any connection to Sebastian to see where they were, what they were doing, the neighbors, anybody Sebastian knows, everyone. They'll vet everyone they can. And especially for the mom and stepdad who the child lives with and the bio father, they're going to ask them for their phones and everything. Where were you? Where are your phones? Blah, blah, blah. They're going to look at them. They have to. That's what their job is. Everybody is a person of interest until you can exclude them, until you can clear them 100%. There's no information out there that they have been cleared 100%. So I don't know why stepdad is saying that. That concerns me. How do you get cleared, by the way? How does that actually happen? That happens that from the last time that child was seen by someone outside the family or on video, from that moment on until he supposedly disappeared, that's when you have to have an alibi. So I don't actually know when the last time Sebastian was seen outside of the family home. She does say they were out doing all kinds of things during the day, and then they came home.
Now, we now know that there was video footage of them at Texas Roadhouse. At this time, there was not that footage out there. There's now footage to show the last time he was seen in public that we know of. The very last time anyone in public actually saw Sebastian was when he was in his mother's car and they drove away. She drives her son away. Wouldn't that mean that she would be the number one suspect? Just asking.
And they had dinner. So I'm going to say from dinner time on, it seems like nobody saw Sebastian except for the mom and perhaps the stepdad, which is another huge mystery, because the stepdad, I can't seem to get solid information as where the heck he was. Now, I know he goes out of town and stays out of town for sometimes a week or two at a time, and he was supposedly in Memphis, but when? Originally, I was under the impression that he was with them that day. And he even looks over during this interview about picking up a niece as if he were there. And then it seemed to me, from what I heard before, that he left for work, perhaps around 9 o'clock that evening. Somewhere in the evening, he left for work and then drove down to Memphis.
Holly, why are you confused, girl? What's wrong, sister? Let's see. What's the deal with the bowling alley? I know this. They went to the bowl. They came home, dropped off groceries. They went to the bowling alley. There was a bowling tournament happening. There was no lanes for them to bowl. She tells us they play video games. However, there is video footage, and from the time they pull in to the time they exit in the car is a total of, I believe it's like 9 minutes and 50 seconds or something like that. It's almost 10 minutes. Exactly, Holly. So many stories thrown around. Exactly.
but I don't have that information. And they are so vague, which is odd to me. They're super vague about that, because it would seem to me if he was down in Memphis and could not have been around to do anything to that child or to help move that child in any way, in that case, I would be shouting to the hills, and I'd have her shouting to the hills that stepdad, Chris Proudfoot, was in Memphis he was down there all week long and had not returned to the family home until he was called and told that Sebastian was missing, at which point he drove home. I do not see that information. And when she talks about the day, she is very vague on the we. So I don't know why she would not be saying, if she was home just with Sebastian, he's out of town. I don't know why she would not be saying, well, my husband, Chris was out of town working in Memphis. He hadn't been home for the last week. So Sebastian and I got up that morning. I made him breakfast. We went out and did these things during the day. We came home, we had dinner. Sebastian and I had dinner together. And then I told Sebastian to go to bed at 9:00. But she uses this very vague we, as if he's actually maybe in the home during most of this time. And going with them. I can't figure it out because it's so vague. If you all know that, a link, let me know. And interesting enough, one of the weird things that Chris Proudfoot keeps saying is, she says, I don't look at the internet. I'm done with that. Good. She should be done with. She shouldn't be wasting her time carrying what I say or any other person says who's on the internet. But Chris Proudfoot says he's all over the internet, watching. Why? This stepchild is missing. What do you give a crap what I think or what anybody else thinks? Only person that matters as to what you think, what they think about you, will be the bio dad, your wife, the police.
What? Man, she just put Crispy Cooterfoot in his place. Put him right in his place. Why are you watching everything we say or do? Shouldn't you be looking for Sebastian like others are doing? If you were concerned about finding him, you would be doing more. You wouldn't be on vacation so much. You wouldn't worry about what we thought about you. But you're too busy invested in every word that's said about you. Poor Chrissy Poo. His feelings might get upset. Somebody might say something ugly about him, and then he's going to have to, hack into their systems, or at least have his wife do it, since that's what she does best, right? Hack into phones, hack into credit cards, those kind of things. Because that's what your wife does the best, right? That's what she's trained to do. Are you trolling around trying to figure out who the next victim might be? Just asking. Trying to figure that out. Is that what you do, Mr. Chris? While you're not looking for your stepson, is that what you do? Right, Niecy, he thinks he breaks the internet. No, my friend. No. But I will say this. Enjoy your time while you got it.
And maybe people in the community who you want help from. it doesn't matter what I say or what any channel says, and you're there paying attention, and even says, you can contact me and I'll answer your questions. Contact you where? He doesn't tell you where you're supposed to contact him at. And why would he want to answer random people's questions anyway? Who gives a crap what random people say? Chris, what does it matter? But okay, I'll throw out one question. Where were you the day before Sebastian went missing? Where were you? Were you at home for breakfast? Did you go out to these different places during the day? Or did your wife go out with Sebastian? You stayed in the house? Were you there for dinner? Were you there in the evening when Sebastian was then supposedly told to go to bed and then you drove away?
Let's talk about a little bit of this real quick while we're on it. On the subject, let's talk. Let's see, where could Mr. Chris have been that evening? I wonder. Maybe right there. Maybe there when that 3 a.m. video was taken. Maybe he was there when his scratch marks happened that night. Maybe. But we know he wasn't in the crane at 5 in the morning like he says he was, because we start work at 7 a.m. He wasn't there. And he had a piss poor attitude, and it was so bad that Thomas requested for him to be removed. Why was he so cranky? Did he not get any sleep that night? Maybe. It's how it goes, right? But,
Where were you? That's the one question you don't seem to want to put out there. And I would think if I were out of town, I'd be shouting that to the hills just to make sure that people did not think I was involved in any way, shape, or form. So if there's not proof that you were 100% out of town and never, ever returned from Memphis until that morning that you were told that Sebastian was missing, you do not have an alibi and you are not cleared. And neither is your wife. So.
What? They're not cleared, y'all. They're not cleared. Neither one of them has an alibi. Hey, Wild Wolf. Michelle. Welcome, guys. They don't have an alibi. Yep. Just like we talked about.
So I look back at that evening and I say, okay, if Chris was home, if he really was home and left at some point, then I find something rather interesting to me. They seem to be perfectly excited about people turning in videos. They weren't worried about the lights in the back, the lights in the yard. He says, oh, that's meaningless. And I think that may be true. I went to the website, and the TBI website. It did seem to say that they weren't overly impressed with the lights that maybe weren't even related to their backyard. However, they don't seem to be terribly worried about the movements that morning. So my question is this. Either they have nothing to do with it. In other words, if their vehicles aren't seen running around, if mom's vehicle isn't like coming out of the driveway at 3 o'clock in the morning, going somewhere and coming back, I don't know if they have any video that's and any kind of CCTV in that area which would catch their vehicles. But and where I don't know. I just don't know what the video situation is as far as coverage for proving that the two of them did not leave the home and put a child in their vehicle and drive the child away.
Well, we do know that there was no movement at all at the front of her and his home. Front door was never opened. Therefore, Sebastian did not, out of process of elimination, according to Mr. Chris, have to go out that front door. No, didn't happen. Did not happen. No movement. No one saw anything from the side of their home to the front of their home. There's only a process of elimination that leaves the backyard, where the light stuff was happening and where one light went back to their home. Yeah, no alibi, guys. No alibi. And do you hear how Miss Pat said a while ago, if he was gone, I would be shouting out. Oh, yeah, Michelle. He really, really is. He very much is. He's fixing to put out a new video. Make sure to go watch it. Anyways, Miss Pat saying, I would be shouting it out. Do y'all recall the video with America's Most Wanted, where KK and Chris go to the Airbnb house? And do you remember KK's first words? He was in Memphis. Her first words. He was in Memphis. She's shouting it out. He was in Memphis. I mean, KK, don't be so obvious now that you're paying attention to what people are saying about you and you do exactly what they're saying. You're trained better than that, remember? You're trained better. But you're letting your feelings sitting beside you over there affect you. Just a thought, just an observation. And of course, all in my opinion.
I don't know what they have for that. But here's why I wonder if it doesn't matter. If stepdad was home that evening and he was going then to work as he regularly would, drive down to Memphis, maybe leave at 9 o'clock at night, drive down to Memphis, get him stay wherever he's staying. Who is to say that Sebastian was alive at 9 o'clock at night if he left the house at that time? She's saying that they had dinner together. So the last, as far as I know, the last known that Sebastian was alive and well, I don't even know when that exactly was. Late afternoon, early evening, I don't know. But at some point, they were alone in the house. If something happened to Sebastian at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, whatever, she's been saying he went to bed at 9. But if he went to work at 9, it doesn't mean that he couldn't have left with Sebastian in his vehicle. And then she claims, after he's already driven off to Memphis, she claims in the interviews, I told him to go to bed at 9, meaning he was alive at 9 o'clock. And now she's added something in this interview, which I find interesting. She didn't say it before. She said she heard noise in his room at 10 o'clock. She said, well, stop doing that. Get, stop doing whatever you're doing. Go to sleep. So now she's trying to indicate that he's alive at 10 o'clock at night. Is that again because she wants to make sure everybody thinks he was alive somewhere at that point in time at night, in the evening, in the later evening? Okay. She wants people to believe he's alive because if he left the house.
Hang on, guys. Let's see. Hang tight. I want y'all to hear something again. I just passed by it, didn't think nothing of it. Let's listen to this one part again. And remember, keep in mind, guys, Miss Pat Brown here, she has good knowledge, good connections. She is not going to talk about something just on a whim. She's going to dig into stuff. Let's listen.
9 o'clock at night,
Oh,
drive down.
wait. What was that? Let's go back. Here we go.
Here's why I wonder if it doesn't matter. If stepdad was home that evening and he was going then to work as he regularly would, drive down to Memphis, maybe leave at 9 o'clock at night.
9 o'clock at night. I wonder why Chris would drive at 9 o'clock at night somewhere. Let's listen.
Drive
some
down
more.
to Memphis, get him stay wherever he's staying. Who is to say that Sebastian was alive at 9 o'clock at night if he left the house at that time?
What? Did y'all hear that? What is there to say if Chris left at 9 o'clock at night to go back to work? We all know he was there. What's to say Sebastian was alive at 9 o'clock at night when he left the house at that time? Let that one sink in. Wow. Guys, seriously. What? Oh my gosh, guys. If he left his house at 9 o'clock at night, guess what time he would be home by? Midnight. He would be back at his camper at midnight. Wow. Oh, Brenda Sue, yes. She's not going to just talk about a case unless she has dug into it. She has her connections. I mean, y'all, she was a FBI profiler. She knows things. Nine o'clock at night. What's to say Sebastian was alive at 9 o'clock at night if Mr. Chris left that home at that time? Think about it, guys. We've talked about a burner phones before. What was happening? We've talked about the fact that KK can do these different types of communication things. Was it a burner phone? Was it a phone that she had figured out a way to set it up? I don't know. Truck internet, Kiki. Whoop, whoop. Exactly, Kiki. Oh, my golly. Guys, think about it. 9 o'clock at night. If Chris was leaving at 9 o'clock at night, what's to say Sebastian was asleep? I mean, was alive at 9 o'clock at night. She tells us Sebastian went to sleep at 9 o'clock. He went to his bed to go to sleep at 9 o'clock. Sometime later, she hears a noise. Miss Rhonda, I love it. Prove it wrong. KK, prove us wrong. Mr. Chris. Wowza. Military style, commando style communication. 9:09 p.m. bedroom lights went out. Exactly, Nisi. Exactly. That's something to think about, isn't it? Yeah, Diana. I agree with you, girl.
She's saying that they had dinner together. So the last, as far as I know, the last known that Sebastian was alive and well, I don't even know when that exactly was. Late afternoon, early evening, I don't know. But at some point, they were alone in the house. If something happened to Sebastian at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, whatever, she's been saying he went to bed at 9. But that's, if he went to work at 9, it doesn't mean that he couldn't have left with Sebastian in his vehicle. And then she claims, after he's already driven off to Memphis, she claims in the interviews, I told him to go to bed at 9, meaning.
Let me throw another one at you. Did he leave to go to work at 9? Or did he arrive that night at 9 p.m.? Just saying.
He was alive at 9 o'clock. And now she's added something in this interview, which I find interesting. She didn't say it before. She says she heard noise in his room at 10 o'clock. She said, well, stop doing that. Get, stop doing whatever you're doing. Go to sleep. So now she's trying to indicate that he's alive at 10 o'clock at night.
Now, the very first time she talks to us on Duchess interview, KK says nothing about a noise. Everybody's comments after that and all of the commentary that was made talking about that interview said, there's not even proof of life. He was there to go to bed. So she had to create something and comes up with, she heard a noise. It's not till later on in her interviews that she reminds all of us that she heard that noise, asking, Bubba, you okay? He said, yes, ma'am. Go to bed. Blah, 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 blah. She has to create and add on to complete her little alibi of him being in that home that night at that time. Make it make sense. Because it don't, KK. It does not.
Is that again because she wants to make sure everybody thinks he was alive somewhere at that?
Was that noise Mr. Chris, y'all? Just throwing that one out there. Think about it. Maybe that noise was Mr. Chris coming in the house.
Point in time at night, in the evening, in the later evening, she wants people to believe he's alive, because if he left the house, if he drove away at 8 or 9 o'clock or 9:30 or whenever, she would want to make sure everybody thought he drove away, and then Sebastian was still alive. But what do I know? He does not seem to want to say where he was. And I don't think the police have made it clear that he was not in town that day and evening before Sebastian was known to be missing. I don't understand the silence on that. And that doesn't make you look good. And so this is the kind of things that if you're going to do interviews, you either want to focus just on the kid and not tell stories that you keep changing and not have information that isn't there that people are suspicious about because you don't want to talk about it for some reason, which makes little sense unless something is not quite right. And to say you're cleared when the police have not said you're cleared, to say that you're concerned about what people are saying about you on the internet and you're spending time doing that is not a very good look either. And you wonder why you care. So these are the red flags for me that have popped up in this particular, this interview. Her changing story about the morning that she went to find him, and the fact that she's so quickly upset rather than looking around for the child who she now says hides behind things in the morning. So
She just got a notification a man in Hendersonville hit the 1 million lotto. What the heck? Oh my God, please don't tell me it's any of the above that we talk about. Lord, we don't need them to have more money to sue people and to attack everybody. Oh gosh. Y'all, Miss Pat is hitting it out of the park today for us. I mean, she's saying and calling out the same stuff we have.
Why wouldn't he be somewhere else in the house? Why would, in 60 seconds, would you freak out? So her story is strange. We don't know the exact last time Sebastian was absolutely seen. I haven't seen that exact number. I don't know where the stepfather was that day or evening. And I don't know whether it's possible that the child left in the stepfather's vehicle that evening. And that's why once he's out of town, nothing matters after that. What people's videos show, what lights are rolling around, nothing matters after that because a child is not in the child is already taken away.
Did you hear what she said? Let's listen to that again. What does she know, I wonder? And of course, we've already said that 60 seconds to search for your child is ridiculous. But remember, she drives in just a minuscule amount of time with her windows rolled up, driving down the street like a bat out of hell, back up in just a few seconds, saying she's looking for him. How are you going to look for him? You're going too fast, KK. But listen to what she says here.
60 seconds, would you freak out? So her story is strange. Right. We don't know the exact last time Sebastian was absolutely seen. I haven't seen that exact number.
We know Sebastian was last seen in her car in the passenger side at 6:33 p.m. the night before he was reported missing. We've all seen that footage. We know Sebastian hasn't been seen since that 6:33 mark.
Don't know where the stepfather was that day or evening.
Allegedly, possibly. Let's talk about it for just 1 second. He might have been at Texas Roadhouse. It's very possible Mr. Chris was there. If not Mr. Chris, somebody who stands exactly identical to the man that was leaned against the pillar at Texas Roadhouse on the left. Just saying. The odds are not in Mr. Chris's favor at that point. But listen to what she's saying right here. It's big.
And I don't know whether it's possible that the child left in the stepfather's vehicle that evening. And that's why once he's out of town, nothing matters after that. What people's videos show, what lights are rolling around, nothing matters after that because a child is not in the child is already taken away.
The child was already taken away. Nothing else matters at that point. Guys, let's talk about that, because if what she's saying okay, I'll look and see. I think I do have some pictures of the search, Kiki. I'll check that out. But if what she's saying is Mr. Chris left at 9 p.m. that night, we've heard stories he was there at the poker party. We've heard stories of little things of him being there. We see a person that looks identical to him at Texas Roadhouse. And he's got to be at work the next morning. So she's saying he left at 9 p.m. And if the boy, Sebastian, left with him at 9 p.m., nothing else matters after that. But guys, let's think of it this way. What if Mr. Chris got there at 9 p.m.? Around 10 was the noise she heard, which possibly could have been Chris coming in the house at that time. Then everything's back on the table, right? He knew all the traffic lights that weren't working. Exactly, Kiki. Exactly. He tells us he's on the job site at 5:30 in the morning. And yet there's people that was on his job site that said, no, we don't start working till 7. He knew all the ways to get in and out without being seen on the cameras, right? Guys, they're trained to do all this stuff. This was a mission that they had planned out, ready to go. Let's do this. I know. KK was driving around with the windows rolled up. We've already decided every one of us have looked for our lost dogs better than KK has looked for her missing child. But when you stop and think about it, she's not going to go and waste her time doing things the way we would do if we didn't know where our child was, because she already knew where her child was. No need to search. No need to waste their time if they already knew. But I think Miss Pat's onto something, but I think it's just the opposite. I think he might have arrived, possibly, allegedly, maybe around 9 p.m. in his truck pinged. Wondering, asking, in my opinion, allegedly, possibly. Prove me wrong, Mr. Chris.
I'm not saying these things happened, but I'm saying this is what the interview makes it look like to a profiler. And I would think to a detective. Detectives watch these interviews as well. So you're not doing yourselves a lot of good. If you're innocent people, stop doing interviews like this, because you're not clearing things up. You're making things look worse. I say again, the other thing that I just put back in there bothers me is that she didn't call the biological father, didn't call Sebastian's father when she couldn't find him.
I've always said that was a huge, huge, huge red flag. To forget to add that phone call to Seth. She had the emergency number to call. She had all the people she could call to get Seth on the phone at that very moment. Hey, have you heard from Sebastian? Because we can't find him. I can't find him. Oh, Kiki. Okay, thank you for being here. Love you big. And I'll get with you and we'll work on this little girl. Okay? I will. Thank you. So if you stop and think about it, that was the biggest screw up they could ever do. Not contacting his daddy. And let me see here. There was a comment that was made. Yeah, he was at work the next morning, Let's not forget about that, how grouchy and cranky he was. The guy had to ask him to leave. And Got a Secret says, remember CP said Sebastian would never be found. How would he know that within just, what was it, almost 8 days when he said it, right? 8 or 9 days he made that comment. Thomas says, why was he so grouchy and uncoordinated? Lack of sleep, maybe, from having to drive a lot that evening? Oh, Thomas, I think you're onto something. Definitely. Cheryl, yes, no shoes was the biggest mistake they made. 100%. That set off alarms in Sebastian's dad when he saw that. He couldn't figure that part out. He knew something was up immediately. But it doesn't matter who they called, how they called. The point is, they did not contact Seth and ask him, have you heard from him? And it's my opinion, they didn't do that because these two, they already knew. They knew where he was. They did not need to contact Seth and ask him, hey, have you heard from Sebastian? Has he contacted you? Because we can all sit here right now and know that we've learned Sebastian loved his dad, loved his time with his dad, and he wanted to go and be with his dad. He would have called his dad. He would have made arrangements with his dad if he was going to leave. He wasn't going to live out in the woods. He didn't like to be dirty, remember? Yeah, and the first thing he says to Seth, don't be mad. Don't be mad. If Sebastian actually ran away, why would Seth be mad? He would be worried, number one. But maybe when Chris was saying that, he was recalling everything that actually happened, right? Maybe that's an internal thought process Mr. Chris was having when he said those words. Don't be mad. It's absolutely gross.
You would think she'd call right away and say, hey, is he at your house? Did he call you? Do you know anything's going on? And she didn't do that. That says something to me. So those are all the things that bugged me in this new interview. I'll stop there. Whether I'll speak on this case again, I don't know. It again depends on what they find out. It's been 3 weeks now. Sebastian's been missing. Chances of him being alive are not good. Why? Because he doesn't have any money. He doesn't have the ability to survive on his own. So if he really did run off, he either did come to something bad and very quickly, somehow fall into some water somewhere and drown. And he's been dead since day one. It's just not able to be found because they just haven't looked in the right place yet. That would be, nobody's guilty of anything. The child just did some strange thing that you wouldn't expect, or at least they didn't expect he would do. And he's not with us anymore. Or if he went to meet somebody, who is this person that he's meeting? Apparently not one of the other children in school. So it would have to be an adult of some sort who's harboring him. And they never asked for him to be. That's the other thing. They never say, they keep saying, come home or we'll find you. But they never say, if you have my son, let him go. Drop him at a gas station, let him go. They never offered a reward. It's weird. They're also not sitting down with the bio father, because to me, it's a strong front. If all three of you trust each other and you think the child really did walk off, all three of you should be sitting there together, and you're not. So either you think the bio dad took the child, or the bio dad thinks you did something to the child. So, but you're not asking for him to be returned. You're not asking for somebody, if you have our son, let him go.
You know, a parent that knows what happens not going to actually do that, because subconsciously they already know. They know what happened to this child, and it's obvious to everyone. Everyone. You look at other parents who have actually no idea what happened to their child. They're begging, they're yelling, they're talking loudly, they're talking over other people, trying to say something because they're begging for anything. They're begging for anyone that knows anything to help them find their child. They're begging. KK don't beg. She says, holy freaking crap, my child is gone. What is going on? Blah, 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 blah. All this thing really fast. She drives really fast with her windows up. She gets to the school. They say there's video footage of her driving through the parking lot and out. Windows up, never hollering for him. That's how she looks for her child. Windows up, driving fast, making appearance so that she can be seen on camera and say, I went to the school to look. But KK, let's talk, sister. Because any one of us ever in our life actually loses a child and not know where our child is, we're going to be begging. We're going to be out there searching. We're going to be looking every single day. If we're in our car, we're going to have windows down and we're going to be yelling so that our child can hear our voice. The mother who gave birth to them. We're going to be doing anything and everything possible. We're going to be doing all that we can so that our child knows we want them back home. We would not ever leave town, drive across the United States, and leave blankets of shoes and some snacks on the front porch. But we wouldn't know what happened to our child, unlike you, right, KK? Right, Mr. Chris? We wouldn't know because we wouldn't do things to our child. If our child went missing, we would put out the latest picture that we have of our child. We wouldn't put out a picture of him much younger. We would put out that picture we took of our child sitting across from them at Texas Roadhouse eating. That would be the picture everybody would be seeing. We wouldn't want to keep that to ourselves because we would want everyone looking for our child to have that very last picture. But when we subconsciously know where our child is, what happened to our child, I guess we would be putting out young pictures of him. We would be going on vacation because we would know he ain't coming back home. Kind of like you and Chris, right? Guys, I don't know if y'all are on the same page as me or not, but this is the mother of Sebastian that drives right through everything with her windows rolled up, 90 to nothing, not worried about if her child might be hiding between houses or behind a tree somewhere. It's embarrassing, KK. It really, really is embarrassing to you. I'm embarrassed for you because you know better. You know better. I know they were in the Navy. I know that she was doing electronical type things. I have no idea exactly the rank, but I do know Katie had special training. Mr. Chris had average training, we'll say. KK was above him. She was the superior. And therefore, I honestly believe she executed everything that night. Because it's what she knows, it's what she does. And hey, Justin. All right, let's finish this out. Yeah, you would definitely call your kid's dad, wouldn't you, Christy? Everybody would. It would be a natural instinct to call your child's father and say, hey, wouldn't you actually want to know if he's had contact with your child? You think they were equally guilty? I think they are equally guilty. I do think she did what she did best and actually executed things and made things happen. Because that's what she was trained to do. Hey, Icy Bama, how are you? Oh, we're just doing what we can. Doing what we can, calling it out as we see it. All right, guys, let's finish this out real quick. Premeditated for sure.
We're not saying that. So, and that's weird because if he went with somebody either has him or has killed him. It's the two choices. Where else is he going to be? It's very frustrating. So anyway, yeah, I'll stop now. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk about this again if there's something to say. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Check my playlist for other cases as well. And yes, I will put the first interview in the link below. And I'll put the link to this interview as well so that you can see what I'm talking about in case you haven't run into this particular interview. So thank you for being here. And yes, I do hope Sebastian is alive, and I hope that, you always hope that. Yeah, there's no other way to say it. You always hope that. And I say as a profiler, this is an educational channel. I'm trying to show you how a profiler would think, how a detective would think. This is not a news channel or a gossip channel. I'm trying to explain how how one analyzes crime. But one can be wrong, and it's okay if I'm wrong. I say it would be a better thing. It would be a better thing, not for teaching education, but for the sake of a young child who had his whole life ahead of him, or has his whole life ahead of him. And we'll see. So thank you for being here. Bye.
All right, that is Pat Brown. Her books are available on Amazon if you are interested. Hold on just a minute. All right, there we go. Guys, we can call it out all day long, and until law enforcement does something. Oh, hang on, this other one's wanting to start playing. But we're gonna do we're gonna go ahead and watch this next one. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and watch what she says about what they have to say and do and all the things with Smiley. So let me get over here. Let's listen to this second one because it is definitely worth watching. And then tomorrow we're going to go over the young girl that's missing. I'm going to get with Kiki. And then the next day, I would like to play the one she has about all the red flags. She's got great knowledge, guys. Great knowledge here. Calling it out. Alrighty, let's go. Let's listen here. We're going to go back a little bit to where she starts. We'll go right here.
Nancy Grace or some big channel is picking the smaller one and doing a 3-hour interview with his wife. So there are professionals like myself and Peter Hyatt who have analyzed what is being said and finding concerning things. There are other channels who are going crazy with, well, he complains they're just putting out lies and they're not facts, and he doesn't want to go on those channels. And I can't disagree with him on that. And because there is a problem when your child goes missing, you should be careful what media outlets you go in front of and what YouTube channels you put yourself in front of as well. What your purpose should be, and your only purpose should be, is to get the information out about your child so that the community can recognize him if he's out there, or if they know something about where he might be, who might have him. That's the only reason you need to do these interviews. The interviewing of you two, the parents, the stepfather, the mom, and then the biological father, Seth Rogers, the only interviews you need to do about yourselves is with the police. They're the ones that need to be asking you a ton of questions about where you were, what your alibi is, what your general habits are, what happens in your home, to know all the things about you so that they can determine whether the story of Sebastian walking out of his home of his own volition is true. And if it is true, why he would do that. But they have to vet, as Chris loves to use the word vet. They vetted us, and they have to do that. And the detectives are the people you should be talking to about all of your personal issues. Okay. And by the way, he says the last interview, he said they were cleared. And I've never heard they were cleared, which means there's a rock solid alibi and they have nothing to do with anything. Now, he did not say that in this interview. He went back to just saying the word vetted, which just means that they've been interviewed and their phones have been checked and those kinds of things. How much the police have done, what they're doing, we do not know. But yes, they're going to check them out thoroughly. Okay, so in my opinion, if you ever have a child go missing, don't do what they're doing. They're putting themselves out there in public, talking about too many details of things that they're not doing too well at. And each interview actually causes more issues. What they needed to do, the only thing I think that was necessary, was to talk to the police, go in front of the camera with that picture of their son, give the basic information they need to give about the son disappearing. Just the basics. They don't need to go through his whole last day. They don't need to discuss any of that, any of their lives. They might want to say, if it's true, that the stepfather was not in town at the time the son went missing, that he had been in Memphis for the entire week. Whether that's true or not, I do not know. But if it is true, they might want to say simply like this: we're looking for our son. He disappeared. That the time I found he disappeared was when I got up to get him to go to school, and he wasn't in the home. He left with, from what we can see, with no shoes on and a flashlight. That's what we believe. Now, my husband, she's talking, my husband, his stepfather was in Memphis for the week. He was not at home until I called him and he returned home. I was the only one in the home at the time my son went missing. Oh. And then you go and say everything you need to know about the son so people can identify him. His looks, his behaviors, where he might go, what he likes. They focus on that. And if the media rolls in with cameras in your face and says, well, what about you two? How long have you been married? You say, this is not relevant at the moment. We're just looking for our son. You stop them. But they didn't. And they keep doing interviews. And now they've done a 3-hour interview. And my question is, why?
I know.
It appears to me, very little of it is about looking for Sebastian. The majority of it is what seems to be damage control. In other words, as he says, people have opinions, and they're giving these opinions all over the place. And I'm willing to answer the questions to straighten everybody out, and maybe even get them to apologize at some point.
Yeah.
And he's complaining that because of all these people's opinions, they're calling the detectives and wasting their time. Well, stop giving interviews in the public so that people keep calling the detectives and wasting their time. Take the focus off of the two of you and put it just on your son. Mm-hmm. But that is not what's happening here. So anyway, they're doing this interview, and it's quite fascinating because a lot of the things they're talking about in the interview just make you raise your eyebrows. Now, that doesn't mean they harmed their son, but it doesn't take away some of the questions people have, and it actually adds more questions. For example, one of the big issues in this case, because he's a stepfather, is did he really care about his stepchild? And that's a reasonable question to ask, because stepfathers can often be dangerous. and women who pick to live with men who are questionable, you wonder about them. Well, she's his 5th wife. He's been married 4 times before. I'm going to say, he may not have an issue. He may have an issue with how he handles his marriages. And he does joke that she's going to say, well, I'm the final wife. And she may be. They've been together supposedly since, this is what Chris says, that they've been together since Sebastian was about 7 or 8 years old. So they've been together.
Okay. They've been together for quite a while. Oh, sorry. Got a phone call. Taking care of business there. Anyways, they've been together, I believe, longer than they want us to think. I really do. They met in the Navy. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? But does any of this mean that they harmed Sebastian? No. Nobody can say that with all certainty. But you got to question it. You have to question it. Why? Because Sebastian 100% did not leave that home. He would have been seen on camera, and there is nothing Zero evidence he ever left his home. So what happened inside that home, or in the dark, dark wee hours of the night outside that home, in the back where there was no cameras to be able to capture it? You got to ask. You got to ask.
Like 7 years. I don't know if they've lived together for 7 years. I'm not sure of that. It's not clear. But she's the fifth wife. And he is an autistic child, which never is easy to deal with. So you wonder, how are things really going on in the house? And I cannot understand. Let me put it this way. This is a child that needs parents in the house. His father only gets every other weekend. And there's a bit of a distance. Some people say it's an hour away. I don't know. And he's with them the rest of the time. Or shall I say, he's solidly with the mother the majority of the time, except for maybe 2 weekends out of the month, when he comes home from Memphis. He drives away 3.5 hours to work as a crane operator in Memphis. And he has got this like camper thing, fifth wheel thing that he stays in. Wait a minute. You're supposed to be a stepfather to this kid, but you're never home. You live in Memphis. That's where you live. You come a couple times a month to see your wife and stepson. What kind of marriage is that anyway? And why? Why?
That's a hard marriage to have. I lived a life where I was married for 28 years to a man who was home for 10 days and gone for 28. It's a hard life. Hard life to live. But when you stop and think about it, if you're the other woman at the beginning of the relationship and you expect to have a perfect marriage, how does that work out? If you already know that he cheated on his last wife because you were the one he cheated with, how do you know your marriage is going to be perfect? Why are you going to expect that? Just asking because, just asking.
Why? Can you not get a crane operator job where you live in Nashville area? Why not? Nashville is not a small place. I'm sure there's lots of building projects. You tell me you can't get one crane operator job in the area? It's not a rare job. But you have to go 3.5 hours away to Memphis to get that job and leave your family alone the majority of the month. And it gets even more interesting. He says he hasn't seen his stepson since the 1st of February. Now, by the time he'd gone missing, he'd already missed that second weekend. He didn't come to that second weekend, apparently. Why not? And on the weekend that Sebastian did go missing, he still hadn't shown up. So that's 3 weekends. Why isn't he coming home and spending time with his stepson and his wife? Was he planning to come home maybe the next weekend? So it was actually a month in between the times he comes and sees his family.
I'm guessing at this point she had no clue that Mr. Chris probably was told by CPS he couldn't be in the home when Sebastian was there, right? Possibly, allegedly, maybe. Am I right, Mr. Chris? Just asking.
This is really hard to understand. And then let's look at this. she supposedly had his father, Seth Rogers, supposedly has his son every other weekend. That means she has her son 2 weekends a month. I want to know, are those the 2 weekends he comes home? Or are those the 2 weekends he does not come home? So how much of a stepfather is he to a child he never sees? There's a question I have for you, Sebastian. I find that, and he goes on as if he's this great father to the child. And I'm saying no person's a great father who never comes home to stay with the kid. How much input does he have? Or does he show up once in a while and get annoyed with him? Because CPS showed up because he had whacked him.
Ooh, because he got annoyed with him? Seemed to do that a lot, didn't he? He did that quite often. Matter of fact. In CPS, that's a whole different ball game right there, y'all.
And he tries to play that down. And I'm thinking it sounds like the old, I only had one drink officer. If you're not spending quality time with him, you're not being a good stepfather to him. And my guess is from the fact he is autistic, has issues. Now they're starting to bring up all these issues he has. Before they barely said anything about his problems, but now he supposedly, has problems with urination in the night, sometimes during the day, has to wear some version of pull-up diaper type things. He's got more issues than they're saying originally. They now talk about how he gets very angry. And so I'm looking at all these things. I'm like, maybe there's something going on in that house which is not terribly healthy. And he's supposedly was going to move over with his dad. Maybe that's why. I don't think we're hearing a lot of truth here. And the point that they're coming to the show for is not to help people find Sebastian. It's to do damage control on the way people view them.
Bingo. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? We're not here to help find Sebastian. They're here to do damage control. 100% damage control. That's all they're more worried about damage control than they are finding Sebastian. 100%.
And why is that necessary? Really, why? What do you give a crap about what people in the internet world think? It doesn't really matter. I'm a professional. Do you even care what I think? You shouldn't. If you have had done nothing wrong here, just tell people, look, we don't have time for your gossip. We don't have time for your analysis of us. We don't have time. We're looking for Sebastian. All we're going to talk about is how to find Sebastian. Anything about ourselves, we'll talk about with the detectives, and we do. That's it. Stay off the damn internet. Stop doing all these shows. And the claim of, we're doing the show so we can get the information out to people about Sebastian. It's a 3-hour show. And by the way, this is from another show. They did this audio. There wasn't even a picture of Sebastian on it. And it's
she's calling it out. Keep calling them out, I say. Hey, Jen, thanks for being here. Hope all's well with you. Guys, they're more concerned about what people might know. They continue to listen. Daisy, hang on and I'll tell you for sure 100%. But they're doing all of this, and it is more or less to find out when somebody figures something out. You know what I'm saying? They don't do any of this to help find Sebastian. they're just sitting here doing what they do because they want to know what you know. What have you found out? It was done March 21st, 2024. I mean, we're talking less than 1 month after Sebastian goes missing. She got him pegged. Less than 1 month. They're more worried about what have they figured out? Are they believing us? Are they not believing us? Yeah, we don't. We can wrap that up clear. Crystal clear. Perfectly clear. We will allow you to be pervy to it. We don't believe you. Oh, Jennifer Pat Brown. She is a FBI profiler. She was an FBI profiler. This is what she does. She's got knowledge. Her and Peter Hyatt were the best in the world. And she's calling it just like we've all been calling it out for 20 months. Yes, she is on YouTube. Her channel is, the link is in the description of the video, but it's Profiling with Pat Brown. She does a lot of different cases and she's good. I like what she got to say. Let's finish this out, guys.
3-hour show, and they're talking most of the time about themselves. So anybody who's looking for Sebastian is going to just say, yeah, okay, this is serving me no purpose. I don't need to know more about these people. I want to try to find the kid. So you're going to tune, these people are going to tune out. It's also a small channel. So why are you doing this? Except that you want to have your say. And the other thing I'll talk about with the behaviors, she seemed a little bit more together in this interview, and gave forth more information about her son, seemed a little more caring. And he, on the other hand, it seemed like he was having a fine time. He was laughing and joking and saying, he doesn't seem to have any kind of emotion toward his stepson at all. I don't see it.
Neither do any of us. We don't see it. We don't see nothing. Come on already. He's made it crystal clear. He spanked Sebastian with the belt. And the reason he tells us is because he was in trouble. The child didn't put a belt on. What's the big deal? You ask him, do you have a belt? He said no. You said go get it. He did. What is so bad? It didn't matter to Mr. Chris. It did not ever matter to Mr. Chris. He did not care for Sebastian. Sebastian was starting to get in his way of him getting custody of his daughter with all these open. End of story. That's how I look at it. Sebastian had to go. But thank God it all backfired. It all backfired on him. Because you see, Seth got those CPS cases. He said what's in there would cause you to not be able to sleep at night, knowing what Sebastian suffered. Seth speaks to Nina, the mother of Mr. Chris's child. It backfired on Mr. Chris. He doesn't deserve a child. He didn't want her to begin with. He doesn't deserve her. That is my opinion, and I am stating it as a fact.
I absolutely do not see it. I just, it's like it's all about him and about how he comes off and how people are going to view him, and he's gonna fix that. He's gonna set you all straight, and he just seems very relaxed and having a good time. And nothing much is about Sebastian, except once in a while he tries to say that when they say, well, what about CPS when they came out? He gives his story. He gave a story about the snake that he had. He gave us stories about these different individual events, but I just don't see any actual emotion toward Sebastian. And when they're asked, she did ask, what would you say to Sebastian? Now they're saying, oh, if somebody has him, let him go. They're using his name now, Sebastian, which they didn't in the other interviews. What's really interesting to me is that a lot of the questions I've had and other people have are being answered in this interview. So my question is that what this interview is purely about? You've been watching what people say about you, and now you're going to do the better thing. You're going to come off better the next time. Is that about finding Sebastian, or is it about yourselves? And yeah, people are correct that when they say you never know how you're going to feel in those situations. They're correct when they say, hey, you've never been in our shoes, you just don't know. That's true. I don't know how I'd behave, whether I'd cry or I wouldn't cry, or I'd laugh inappropriately. I don't know. But it seems to me they've been watching the internet. He has been watching the internet and figuring out what he needs to do next. And that has nothing to do with finding their son.
Thank you.
In my opinion. He also said one of the things I had asked, and I had mentioned in my last video, my analysis, I said, it's odd to me if they both get along well with the biological father, Seth Rogers, and they want to find this child. I think the best thing would have been all three of them just standing in a row with the pictures and giving a very strong statement. We're here together. We have to find Sebastian. This is mom, this is dad, this is his stepfather. All we want to do is find Sebastian. We're confident that none of us have anything to do. I know people look at parents. We don't have any issues. The step parents, I don't have any problem with the step parent, his stepfather, or my ex, and she doesn't have, and she says, I don't have any problem with the father. We're all here.
No problems. A united front. The best thing they could ever have done. But that means Katie would have had to talk to Seth. And that wasn't going to happen, was it, KK? Wasn't going to happen. My goodness. Not going to happen. She ain't going to talk to Seth. She has yet to talk to Seth. The only thing she said to him was, look, he's had a good day. Proof. She had it already. Picture on her phone, right there, ready to go. She ain't gonna talk to Seth. He might. No, she's lying. In my opinion, of course. I believe Seth knows her better than her own husband does. I believe Seth could tell exactly whether she was lying or not.
Together because we believe either Sebastian walked away and has gotten lost, or somebody's grabbed him. Something happened, but we're here together to find him, and we're taking a stand together. He claims that going to do that in the beginning, but then somehow it all fell apart and they all did their own thing? Or is it because the biological father has suspicions and doesn't want to be involved with them? Okay, so I don't know what's going on there. Now, I'll say one last thing before I sign off on this. Supposedly, again, he has not been home to the house, supposedly, according to him, because I have no proof elsewhere, in an entire month. That he was in Memphis the entire week, that before this happened, he was in Memphis the day before Sebastian went missing. So she was alone with Sebastian the whole weekend. He was not in the vicinity. And when Sebastian went missing, she was the only one in the house.
Did y'all hear that? She was the only one in the house. Her. KK. Sebastian's mother. Why is she not in a room being questioned every single day until she tells the truth? She's the last one with him. No evidence he left the house. She was the only one in the house with him. 1 + 1 = 2. Make it make sense, folks.
Was not anywhere around or even within 3.5 hours drive. It was only after she called him that he returned. And if that is true, that would take him out of the having anything to do with what happened to.
Okay. If we're going to go off of Mr. Chris's words, well, he lies. KK even lied. She backed him up on a lie when he said he had a very important phone call he needed to handle. And KK goes on to say that was his daughter he was talking to. We later find out, no, Terry Lynn is not Mr. Chris's daughter. But yeah, we're supposed to believe all the words he tells us, right? Terry Lynn had called him during that interview. He played it off as like it was his weekly call from his daughter. Liar, liar, pants on fire. I call BS all day, every day on that one.
Sebastian. If he wasn't anywhere near, then he has nothing to do with anything. So I got knocks on my, hold on. Somebody's knocking at my door. So anyway, that is just the last thing I'll say is that would, if the police have proof he never returned at any point until that, after she called him that morning, then he is not involved in what happened to Sebastian. Then one could look toward the mother, or the child actually did walk out of the house. But they're not making their lives anybody better by appearing and doing 3-hour interviews, basically doing damage control on their behaviors, as opposed to looking for Sebastian. That's my thoughts on that. If you're new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. Check my playlist for all the other things that I have. And we'll see what happens. I absolutely do hope that nothing ever happened to him at that home and that he walked away. But it's been 3 weeks, so wherever he walked away to doesn't look too good either. And why he would leave the house just in bare feet and run off just seems extraordinarily odd as well. So we'll see what comes of anything in the future. But stop. If I were giving them advice, I'd say stop doing these damage control interviews. They're really not helping you.
Not helping you, making you look a little sus, I would have to say. Michelle says, but how can you stand there while somebody mistreated their child in any way? Michelle, that has been a huge question of mine. Lord, I have wondered that. I have thought about it. I have seriously contemplated that question over and over and over again. And the only thing I can think of is that maybe he wasn't the only one doing that. For her to be okay with it, I would think she would have to be partaking in that as well. We know all the CPS cases were not all against Chris. So it does make you wonder. It really, really makes you wonder. It's nice to hear somebody with expert opinion say the things that we've been calling out for quite a while now. And it kind of just justifies everything for us. You know what I'm saying? We're on the right track. Yeah, complacency makes you as guilty by default. It really does. Yeah. TJ has dropped the link for profiling with Pat Brown. If you have not subbed up, please do. I encourage it because she is amazing and it helps us to understand the mind and the thinking and the actions and what it does say from a professional standpoint. I mean, we're just YouTube warriors, right? Keyboard warriors, they say, just YouTubers causing drama. No drama here. We're calling it as we see it. Hey, big booty Barbie girl. Oh, bless it. I'm so sorry. Big booty Barbie girl says from personal experience, it hurts when your mom chooses a man over you every time. Poor Sebastian. Ring the bell. Hello, hello. You know, it's to the point to where we are starting to realize Sebastian did not have a good life in that home. There was probably some good times. I'm not going to take that away from them. They might have had some good times. But I believe towards the end, there was nothing Sebastian could ever do right. He was in the way, I believe. Oh, Retha, you're fine. Just glad to know you're listening. That's amazing and worth it for me. You take care of yourself. You know, we hear little things about who Sebastian was from his dad. Seth is one that kind of makes Sebastian come to life for us. You look at his pictures, you fall in love with that beautiful, wonderful smile of his. And yet, you listen to his mother and his stepdad, and they just can't help but poke fun at him. That's on the internet, folks. It's out there forever. If Sebastian is ever found, he will hear the words of his mother and his stepdad and talking about all the things he does that just irritated the crap out of them. It's very sad. But at the end of the day, the question still remains. Katie, where is Sebastian? Where is your son, Katie? And I say that to you directly, Katie, speaking mother to mother to you. You were in the home with your child, with him, Sebastian. You were locked in that home. He didn't leave on his own. There is no evidence he ever left the home. How did you get him out? Where did you take him? Katie, where is Sebastian? Guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for being here with us today. I really, really do. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments y'all are making, all the interaction happening. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. I would definitely look her in the eyes and ask her, did you watch? Did you watch? Did you see with your very own eyes what was happening to your child? And did you just stand there? Did you help? Because we got pictures. We can see. Thank you for putting that, TJ. TJ said, everybody remember, we are the voice for the voiceless. I appreciate y'all so much for being here, for everything you're doing. Be with us tomorrow as we talk about 13-year-old Winter and her story and see what we can do to help that young lady find her way back home. And then, like I said, the next day we will go back to Miss Pat Brown and watch all the red flags and everything that she sees. Y'all be safe out on these streets. Oh, good, Big Booty Judy. We're going to talk about her tomorrow, so maybe you can join us. Hope you can. We're going to see what we can do. Start putting her name out there. And so I hope y'all all can come back and join us for that. She deserves attention for her case as well. And before we go, I want to do one thing really quick. I'm going to read this off. Hang in there with me, guys. Myself, along with moderators, subscribers, and anyone in chat, express their opinions. On this channel, we present speculation, possibility, and show things found for everyone to decide for themselves what opinion they have. We're here for helpful purposes only. We're not here for drama, hate, or anything negative. Please respect all opinions. My content is not to be used in a hateful, negative way at any time. And please, 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 I will put this out on my community page. Please share it out on your social media. Let's get this little girl out there and let's see what we can do to help find her. Winter B. Wagner, 13 years old, from Kentucky, Orlando area. So we will be talking about her tomorrow. Thank you guys for all that y'all do. Be safe, safe, safe. And until tomorrow, love and hugs, everybody. Good night.